My name is Nathan Zastoupil. I'm here today to talk about my deafness, the past challenges in life, and future challenges for the rest of my life. As you see, you may have watched some Northern Illinois University football games on TV. You may have seen the hard way trademark slogan on the back of those NIU football helmets. The hard way trademark at NIU defines the history of the football team, overcoming so many difficult obstacles and getting themselves onto the national exposure without giving up and believing in each other. The Huskies also have a culture of proving the elders wrong. I strongly feel related to this slogan at Northern Illinois University, and this has made this become a personal meaning that really defines myself. Not that I only went there for college studies, I lived my life the hard way. By believing myself while growing up and overcoming so many difficult obstacles and proving a lot of doubters wrong without giving up. Thank you for inviting me to come speak today. I am so glad to be here to share my deaf experiences with all of you. I'm hoping that my experiences that I'm about to share with you today will help you in the future on how to help deaf individuals and even ministry. I was born on February 1982 in Rockford, Illinois, with an auditory nerve loss. My hearing loss was not discovered until a later time. My mom suspected that I was not hearing anything for a while. While I was 18 months old, she did it at home experiment to verify my hearing ability. She grabbed some kitchen pans and stood behind me, banging them as loud as she could. I was not responding to the banging noise from these pans. This experiment showed my parents that I am deaf. I went to the audiologist for some hearing tests. These results verified that I was deaf. I began wearing hearing aids right away at 18 months old. Putting these hearing aids on for the first time was not the resolution to my hearing problem, as I was at the beginning of a long way to go with my deafness and challenges that I would be experiencing for the rest of my life at the hard way. At the time, hearing aids were put on. I did not respond to the sound coming into my ears because I did not know how to respond to them. It took a few years to finally know how to respond and react to the sound. For a while, if someone was calling my name out to get my attention, I did not know how to react to the name calling. In other words, it was like sound coming in one ear and going out of my other ear. While discovering this hearing loss at 18 months old, I had to learn English and sign language at the same time because I was not speaking at all. According to my mom, it took a few years to finally know how to listen to the sound and how to react to the sound. I began talking at 3.5 years old. From that time on until the end of the junior high, I attended speech therapy. for 2 to 3 days a week. There were so many up and downs in speech therapy. The hardest thing for me in speech therapy were pronouncing words starting with and ending with letter S and letter F, and I also had a hard time pronouncing things that had TH or SH at the ending of the word. While developing language, sign language, and speech therapy, I attended preschool with other deaf kids going through the similar situation that I was going through. The preschool classes had a teacher and a teacher's aide use sign language to communicate and teach us. Throughout the elementary school years, I attended deaf classes with each deaf classmate, where the teacher and teacher's aide signed and taught us. It was a slow learning process where it took a longer time for me to develop language and other subjects. As I reached junior high school, I started the mainstream, where some of my classes with teachers and students that do not use sign language and require a sign language interpreter to be there. For example, STEM and art classes were the mainstream classes that I went to that had a sign language interpreter there. I continued to take some deaf classes when it comes to English, algebra, history, and science. These deaf classes were still learning classes, and I was sort of still behind on vocabulary and language. While attending junior high school, I was starting to understand what I was going through in my life with my hearing. I realized that I had been labeling myself as a hard of hearing person instead of a deaf person. One day in junior high school, a teacher who was also my case manager was introducing me to another teacher or a student teacher and said that I was a deaf student. It became such a bothersome issue to me in my mind that I did not like to be called as a deaf student. While I saw a former teacher one day, I told her about it. She said that the teacher was more focused on my audiogram rather than who I am. All of my audiograms from every hearing test that I have taken truly identify me as a deaf person. And I truly do not function like a deaf person. I strongly believe that I function more like a hard of hearing person. In other words, deaf often more comes from the definition of mute and no ability to vocalize. The word hard of hearing more often comes to the definition of some ability to speak and ability to hear half the thing and no ability to hear the other half of the thing. So I confronted the teacher and asked her not to label me as deaf and to please label me as hard of hearing. She did not like my wishes. So we compromised and agreed that I would be labeled as a hearing impaired person for the time being. I went to high school and I began the first 2 years by taking some deaf classes and some mainstream classes similar to what I was doing in junior high school. Then I needed to get myself prepared for college coming up, and I completely mainstreamed out into every single class for the rest of my high school years. It was a huge challenge for me because I was behind on language and vocabulary. However, I was very fortunate to get some help, some extra help with some teachers after school. I succeeded high school with a high school diploma. Toward the end of my high school years, I had two deaf teachers point out that I would not be successful in college and I would not be able to graduate college because of who I am and the low language and vocabulary that I had. It was so bothersome to me for teachers like that to be so negative and not have any faith in my future. Their comments became so personal to me. Because this happened, it became a very big motivational tool and a constant reminder for me in the back of my mind that I had established a personal goal of mine besides the primary goal of getting a college degree. My personal goal was to prove the teachers wrong. I felt like I had to show them that I could be capable of doing anything and to graduate with a college degree. I was on a mission of doing my personal goal the hard way. College was very challenging for me, especially studying Rock Valley College, which is the community college in Rockford. It took me longer to finish our community college than I started taking below 101 developmental classes. I took a lot of tutoring sessions for a lot of classes in community college. All of my classes had note takers and a sign language interpreter that was provided by the college. I was very active working through the student newspaper at Rock Valley as a sports writer, sports editor, managing editor, and an editor-in-chief. There was people across the college campus saying, oh, the newspaper would never be successful in winning the state among junior college newspapers because a deaf guy was running it. It turned out that my newspaper would rank first in the state in overall excellence and layout during my time as editor-in-chief. It was a great feeling to prove these people wrong, and I was doing this the hard way. It took me 4 hard working years to finally get a college degree, an associate of arts degree at Rock Valley College. I knew I could graduate college, but I felt like I needed to prove these high school teachers wrong by doing more. I wanted to continue doing the hard way. I wanted to make my lifelong dream come true by attending Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. Going to NIU was the best experience that I have ever gone through in my life. Not that I'm only a huge die-hard NIU football fan. I love NIU with all of my heart. Everyone at NIU was so good to me by meeting all of my hearing needs as an interpreter, a note taker, and whatever thing I needed to become successful there. I became a vice president for Deaf Pride, which was a student organization promoting deaf awareness and deaf culture across the NIU campus and the community of DeKalb. I also served on a Student with Disability Advisory Board and I use to prove the adaptability needs across the university campus. I graduated Northern Illinois University after 2.5 years of being there with a Bachelor of Arts degree in art. It was an icing on the cake that now I have 2 college degrees under my name, that I have defeated my personal goal of proving these high school teachers wrong once again. 2 college degrees. With this is the big reason why I relate myself to the hard way slogan that NIU had. As I currently stir myself with pride, having 2 college degrees under my name, I continue to carry myself through the hard way, through the working world. During the 10 summer years as a high schooler and a college student, I worked at Matthews Water Park outside of Rockford doing groundskeeping and maintenance. A supervisor had told me that I worked so hard on the job all the time that I deserved to get promoted, and I will never get that promotion because I cannot function without a radio walkie-talkie. Being told like that, it totally felt like that was not right for me. So I spoke with some higher-up supervisors about the comment, and I strongly believe that I deserved the promotion whether I had a hearing loss or not. They were so furious to have this happen to me, and they corrected things for me and had made several accommodations for me to become a supervisor without having a radio walkie-talkie on the job. For the last 4 to 5 years on the job, it went so smooth for me, and it worked out so well. After being laid off at a factory job in the Rockford area, I had many different job interviews across the Chicagoland area, and I was turned down at a lot of the positions that I applied for. Lots of warehouse jobs did not want to hire me because of safety reasons involving forklifts moving around. I felt like it was not fair to me not to be given a chance for a 1.5 years without a job. Special thanks to a very special family friend of mine. She got me a job to work for her department at a temporary position, and then I moved onto a different department for the long-term permanent basis as I worked my way into my current position. I am now a telematic product supervisor at an industrial engine company in Wooddale. I have been with the company for 7.5 years now. The company I work at have been so good to me and have made great accommodations for me. I work in an electronic lab setting office filled with 5 different computers with the doors locked and closed. I've had people knocking on my doors, and sometimes I do not hear the knock. So I was given a doorbell outside my office door, and it helps me a lot when someone pushes the doorbell. I heavily use face-to-face communication, email, and text messaging to be able to communicate with my coworkers and customers. A funny story happened to me about 10 years ago. it is okay to laugh because I think it's funny now. So I was with my best friend one morning at McDonald's, and my best friend, he had totally deaf. He had no ability to hear and no ability to vocalize. So in order for me and him, we communicated in sign language. So anyway, when my best friend and I were at McDonald's, we were in line waiting to order our food. And while we were in line, we were just communicating in sign language. And as we got through the register, we were given a braille menu, a menu for blind people with dots on it. We were so puzzled, and we told the lady at the register that we can see but cannot hear. My best friend was just pointing out at me, saying, Nathan's got glasses, he can see. People behind us in line were laughing so hard, and they just couldn't believe what they saw. Shortly after the incident happened, my best friend and I, we were just saying, wow, we just couldn't believe what had happened to us. So he was text messaging some of his other deaf friends and told them what happened, while his friend told him that it happened to them too, before. We were just like shocked. Wow, we just couldn't believe it. So I strongly believe that businesses out there, restaurants, retail shops, plus districts, YMCA, anything you name it, they need to train employees on how to interact with people who have disabilities and special needs. I was very impressed with the Rockford Price District providing mandatory training to the employees at Magic Water Park, including me. That training taught us how to interact with special needs people, and I was very glad to be a part of that training when I worked at Magic Water Park. I married my wife Carrie 8 years ago, and she did not have a hearing loss at all. I have been often asked, what is it like to be married to someone that did not have a hearing loss? There have been a lot of things that have been misheard and misunderstood between us, but we work together often to clear things. I have had a lot of challenges being at the dining table with so many people when we go out with family, extended family or friends, or both. When we get together with them, I get very easily left out at the table because I don't understand what the group conversations are about. And nobody helps me understand. So this is an ongoing challenge that I would have to deal with for the rest of my life. At other times, there have been many times when I get waken up in the middle of the night when Carrie is trying to tell me something and she's signing to me or lip reading something to me. I often have to remind her by telling her, I'm sorry, I cannot see her or hear her because the lights are off and my glasses and hearing aids are off. When my daughter Nora was born 4 years ago, everybody had different questions wondering if she would have a hearing loss or not. After Nora took the hearing test, we found out she does not have a hearing loss. I became very emotional with tears rolling out of my eyes. I was very relieved because I did not want her to be going through the things that I've gone through in my life with my hearing loss. Even though it wasn't a big deal to other people, I would even ask why. I was very emotional about it, and I told people that they cannot seem to sense my emotion in this situation because they have no idea what it's like to have a hearing loss. As I'm thinking a lot and comparing from today to when I was born, I cannot believe how much improvement there have been in technology. I have been often asked how well I hear with my hearing aids on and with them off. With the hearing aids on, I hear a lot of things about 80 to 85% of the time. Without the hearing aid, I hear absolutely nothing. I cannot hear my voice without the hearing aids on. I feel like there are two different sides of me. Like I could be completely deaf without wearing the hearing aid, then I could be hard of hearing with the hearing aid on. I wore my first hearing aid for about 16 years. And then I was introduced to some well-improved advanced hearing aids shortly when I first started college. These new hearing aids were digital hearing aids. The nicest thing about these digital hearing aids we are seeing out there today have the ability to do so many different things. Compared to the first hearing aid that I wore at 18 months old, these digital hearing aids have a hearing comfort level bar stat, where when there's something loud, the hearing aid would bring the loud sound to the hearing comfort level to make the hearing aid not as loud as it would be already. And the digital hearing aid also can do the same thing when it comes to very quiet sound. Like the hearing aid has the ability to boost up the very quiet sound to that hearing comfort level. And it provides the better chances of being able to hear the sound. With these new digital hearing aids, I heard lots of sounds that I had never heard of before. These digital hearing aids picked up sounds that my older hearing aids were not capable of picking up. I heard water running for the first time. I heard birds and crickets chirping. I heard the air blowing out of air vents. I heard the fan running. Hearing these kind of things were amazing to hear, even though those noises don't matter most of the time. Afterwards, I recently got a new round of digital hearing aids last year. These new hearing aids I have on have really improved hearing and communication with people with foreign accents. I was able to hear and comprehend better with these foreign accents in order for me to communicate better with them. While hearing 80 to 85% of the time, I still have to heavily rely on face-to-face communication in order to read lips. This is how I grew up, and this will remain for the rest of my life. If someone looked the other way, I would not be able to understand what they're saying to me, even though I would hear them say something. For example, if I turned the radio on, I would hear the radio say something, but I don't know what they're saying because I'm not able to read their lips. And it's the same idea while talking on the telephone. I don't use the phone at all because I heavily rely on face-to-face communication. Technology has improved on providing me more options on ways to communicate with people, which is text messaging, email, Facebook, and FaceTime, and of course, the non-modern technology of face-to-face communication. You know, as you watch TV or movies, I rely on closed captions to understand what is being said. The cool part about it is there are now movie theaters that are starting to provide closed captioning to any kind of movie you want to see. The theater provides a device shaped like a rear view side mirror that go up into a cup holder, and the words light up in that device. And I was so happy that movie theaters are finally starting to do this. I have been going to the movies a lot more than I ever have. Have you seen this picture up there? Many people have often asked me, how do you wake up in the morning? Well, I have a flat round device that is plugged into an alarm clock, and it goes right into my pillowcase, and it vibrates. It is so hard to ignore the vibration unless you want to hit the snooze button to sleep a little bit longer. I have never had this alarm clock until my junior high school year. My mom had always had to wake me up in the morning before that. I'm so grateful to have a brand new deaf ministry here at Prince of Peace. I am so happy to be here with a sign language interpreter at our worship services 2 Sundays a month. I have enjoyed going to church a lot better than the previous year that I did not have a sign language interpreter. Going to church now has become so meaningful to me because I have a sign language interpreter now. While I was a kid, I didn't like going to church in general because I had no sign language interpreter. I just pretty much sat there in the worship services not being able to understand anything. I have gone to Sunday school for the first few years, and I did not like it at all because I was not able to understand anything. So I stopped going to Sunday school. I have gone to confirmation. I did not understand anything, and I just pretty much sat there. It was no fun for me at all. I pretty much stopped going to church after high school. I have gone through a few Christian non-denominational worship services during college, and I really enjoyed it because we had sign language interpreters there. I stopped going when I was in a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend, who is now my wife, because I often come to the Schaumburg area to be with her on the weekend while I was living in Rockford that time. We got married at Lutheran Church of the Cross in Arlington Heights, and I love the fact that I had an interpreter at my wedding. For the first several years, Carrie and I have often argued that we should go to church more often. I told her that I don't even like going to church because I just sit there, not understand anything. When a pastor would throw a small joke, I just sit there watching everybody laugh. It bothered me a lot that I was not able to laugh along with everybody else. There were a few Sundays when I was just so grumpy, and I just take it out on Carrie because I was very depressed, sitting at church, not understanding anything. When my daughter Nora was going to have her baptism, my good family friend Joey Piquet, who is also here at Prince of Peace now with my family, have set up the page for the interpreter for the baptism. This was how I first met sign language interpreter Patty Overbeck, as you now see interpreting at Prince of Peace. Patty began coming to interpret for me once a month, as it was a start of a deaf ministry that I had started at my previous church, Lutheran Church of the Cross, in Arlington Heights for a few years. Joey is such a wonderful friend to me, and I don't know how much I could thank her for getting me started on fulfilling interpreting needs at church. She helped me with the deaf ministry project fundraiser, collecting donations that I had going on at Lutheran Church of the Cross. My family and I have made the decision to start coming to Prince of Peace back in February this year, and I knew I wanted to come here. I had a very strong vision of starting a deaf ministry at Prince of Peace. Patty followed me here, and I'm so happy to have Patty here at Prince of Peace. I love how our beautiful church has taken the deaf ministry to a very new level that I have never experienced before. I have strong faith in the ministry growing into something very special. I want to say thank you to Pastor Peter Helfet, Janet Ikea, Joey Piquet, and everyone else at Prince of Peace for supporting this deaf ministry. Speaking of deaf ministry, I will be starting a 3-section sign language class as a free gift to the Prince of Peace congregation in November. This class is for all ages, and all are welcome to join the class. You do not have to be a Prince of Peace member. It is for anybody out in the community to join this class. All are welcome. Sign-up sheets are already available at the Prince of Peace Welcome Center for the remainder of this month of October. I could be contacted privately if you want to sign up for this class. Now, let me switch over and talk about your Stevens ministry. I want to be able to help you by learning the facts about deafness and how to help deaf people. There are approximately about 28 million people that are hearing impaired in this world today. One of the biggest difficulties that many people face today is the hearing culture that treats them as though as handicapped, people to be bullied on or change. Deafness is always hard on people, especially children and adults. Language is learned from hearing it spoken by parents and peers. Deaf children struggle with communication far longer than hearing children. They must be taught sign language and the ability to read lips. They often can feel secluded and lost. A lot of small children go through stranger anxiety phases. There are 15 things that deaf people have to deal with in the hearing culture that you may never think about. The 15 things are not getting announcements at public places and events. People talking very slowly throws off lip reading. Communicating in the dark is next to impossible. You are constantly jumping as you may never know when someone behind you is approaching you. having to rely on touching someone or waving at someone to get the attention of getting the attention of others. Sign language is far from universal and leads to a lot of misunderstandings. Job application and job interview can be incredibly difficult to step. Having people avoid talking to them at all. Seeing a new movie at a movie theater is also a losing battle. The deaf are twice as likely to suffer from depression and anxiety. Many people think you are being awkward by not getting a cochlear implant. Looking after a hearing aid takes a lot of commitment. Like for example, oh, my hearing aids go out. I gotta go somewhere, change my batteries. That's why I have an extra set of batteries in my pocket. Or another example would be if you're outside and it starts pouring rain, you gotta run, cover your hearing aid by getting a hood or get away from the rain, things like that. Anyway, the hearing population feels sorry for you. You don't need their sympathy at all. You don't want people to feel sorry for someone being deaf. I don't need that either. People will talk about you even if you were there. People could be talking behind your back and you wouldn't understand what they're saying. They would still be talking about you. You have a word to describe people who think hearing makes them better. There are so many different ways to help deaf people if they ever need to talk to you about anything. The number one priority you should have with a deaf person is establishing the easiest way of communication on both sides. You will need to make sure you're speaking clearly in order for them to read your lips. You would also need to make sure you are not covering your mouth when speaking to a deaf person. You would also need to make sure there's no food in your mouth when talking to a deaf person too. With food in your mouth while talking to a deaf person makes the deaf person feel offended. It does not hurt to have paper or pen by you in case if there is a communication problem. If there is a hard way of communication between you and a deaf individual, please be patient with no frustration and remain calm with the deaf person to show them that you truly care and continue to show them your effort of trying to communicate. No matter if this person is deaf or hard of hearing, just continue to be yourself. Don't view the deaf person differently because they cannot hear. Just be yourself. As I have grown up deaf doing the hard way, my life continues ahead with future challenges and obstacles. My deafness keeps my life going because I continue to prove people wrong. I continue to overcome challenges and I continue not to give up. I will not allow anyone to tell me no because of my deafness. I am going to find ways to work around the no answer by compromising. I am a strong believer in myself, and I strongly believe that God keeps me going. This is how I will continue to do the hard way for the rest of my life. Questions, anyone? Thank you.